Adrienne Stein is a naturopathic doctor and business mindset coach on a mission to help visionary women in menopause reclaim their vitality and purpose without burning out. Through her signature Empowered Life program, she guides high achieving entrepreneurs to naturally rebalance their hormones, reset their nervous systems, and realign their business with soul level clarity. Known for turning menopause into a catalyst for transformation, Adrienne blends science, spirituality, and strategy to help her clients work less, earn more, and feel like themselves again. Her approach is not just about symptom relief, it's about reimagining success from the inside out. She's here to shake up hustle culture, ditch the push through it mindset, and show women that the most powerful chapter of their life and business is just beginning. So great. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. I love, love, love what you're doing in the world and the work, but I'm so curious if you can tell us, how did you come to be here? What is your why? Why is doing the work with women in menopause close to you?
I think it's probably because of my own personal journey. And I think a lot of us as coaches and healers and entrepreneurs, it often starts with our own trials and tribulations. So I've been trained as a naturopathic doctor for 20 years. And despite that training, that level of experience, treating so many women in the perimenopause and menopause transition, when it came to my own menopause experience, nothing worked.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was taking the same supplements that worked for everybody else, and yet I was still waking up just with hot flashes every single hour, no matter what I did. I felt like a complete wreck. I didn't know how I was going to function day to day because I was just hit so incredibly hard. And I'm so grateful for that experience because it actually caused me to dig so much deeper into what is really going on in our body during menopause. And so that led me to understanding really deeply that menopause is more than just about a hormone shift. Symptoms are coming up not because of hormones, but because our body is not in a position where it can adapt to the change in hormones. So, oftentimes, healing at a much deeper level and looking at hormone symptoms more as a signal that there's imbalances going on in our body, and that if we correct those, then hormone symptoms diminish. So, healing my detoxification of my liver and my gut and my nervous system all led to my symptoms coming way, way down and even disappearing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
amazing. It was amazing.
Oh,
And
that's absolutely incredible.
thank you. Thank you. And it's a very different perspective, I think, than most people, because out there we talk about menopause more as a deficiency. You're deficient in hormones.
Mm.
But really, again, it's more about a signal about what might be out of balance in your body. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So once I healed physically, that's when I really began to understand the energetic side and felt such a huge calling to be out there in the world and talking about menopause not as this horrible catastrophe that's going to hit and then you just fade to the background. You're old, you don't have any worth, and looking at it more in terms of both the nervous system as well as a much deeper transformation, a
Mm.
transformation where we have the opportunity to look at what's coming up and heal that, not just on a physical level, but this is what gets to Avalon empowerment, but what's coming up in terms of our unconscious mind, the blocks and the beliefs that haven't served us that we've carried through. This is such an amazing time where we can heal that and then step into our own power for the second half of our adult life.
So many goosebumps or truth bumps or all the bumps. What I'm hearing you say is you're not only taking it from that physical and the physical piece, but you're also taking it down to the mind body connection, the spirituality, looking at the nervous system, and then the energetics. You mentioned Avalon empowerment. How has Avalon's trainings and certifications blended into the work that you were already offering?
It has been so incredibly powerful. So when I came into Avalon, it was because I already had mapped out in my mind my program that I wanted to deliver to women to help them actually become empowered in this transition and to see it as a transition, to see it as an initiation and an opportunity to stand in our own power to discard what no longer works. So, in the pillars of my program, the final pillar and the most important pillar was like a mindset pillar. And yet, I didn't have the tools yet. Nothing felt aligned. So, like, we have all the self-help books and the affirmations and all of that sort of stuff. And that's great stuff. But I could recognize in myself doing those same old patterns over and over again. I use my affirmations, I'd shift for a while, and then like a magnet being pulled back. And since my program is about stepping into that next half of our adult life in a position where we have shed a lot of the imbalances, I knew the nervous system, the subconscious was a huge piece of that. And it was so interesting. It was just like it just fell into my lap. I knew I needed something there. I knew it. And then I just happened to meet one of the founders in a lunch line and we started talking and we're like, oh my gosh, what you do sounds so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what you do sounds so good. And then, yes, I joined immediately.
Ah, so like you put it out there, you had a desire, you know what you wanted to cultivate something even deeper and go
Mhm.
beyond the surface and really find those tools and frameworks, modalities even to help you help your clients get there. And then the universe puts you in line with one of our founders. What would you say so far has been the game changer? And or because you said there was something else you were looking for, have you found that? And what is it?
Absolutely, I found it. And that Avalon has so many amazing tools, and they've been transformative both in me now using them in practice as well as for myself. But I think it was really also the whole concept and the understanding of the unconscious mind and how it operates that was just like a curtain being drawn back to just like really understanding how we may operate in a way that may not be in alignment with what we say we want.
Right.
So we say we want this, but we're moving towards that all the time. And again, affirmations, etc., are wonderful, but just don't address that level. And I
Mhm.
had so many transformative experiences going through Avalon. It just not the like understanding this, yes, but also working with other students, and we would work like coaching and practicing. And I had so many incredible breakthroughs. And just like my money stories disappeared on a dime and everything shifted, my nervous system completely reset. Like even when, hard things happen, I'm using air quotes, or things that used to trigger me and I'd be like up at 3 in the morning worrying about this. I'm like, it'll work out. It's just,
That's huge.
I look back, I'm like, who am I? So yeah, the tools are amazing and powerful.
How have you experienced that in your journey of Avalon?
So, in terms of the frame that I think has been most resonant with the people that I've worked with, is primarily the unconscious mind. And a lot of the women I work with actually do have trauma in their past. And so they really did resonate. They knew they were carrying things from their past
Mm.
forward, and it was informing how they showed up in relationships, how they showed up in work. It was primarily that concept that 90 to 95% the neck down is the unconscious mind, and it's really running the show. And a lot of it is set in our
Mm.
childhood. So many of my clients really, they knew that. They knew that already. But it really brought it to light and brought it like super clear, and then be able to have tools to
Yeah.
shift that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Yeah, because I feel
It's
like
real.
that's the big piece, right? You gain the insight and the awareness as to the why, And now you have the tools and the frameworks and modalities to help a client with the how and to really come into that resolution. And I think that trauma aware lens comes, and you mentioned this a little bit ago, coming at it from a place of this is all stuff you've experienced. It's not your fault. There's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of grace. And by way of looking at it as an operating system, it's not like you're consciously choosing to do this. Something is influencing that. And we actually have the manual to that operating system. And so if we can utilize our tools and asking certain questions in a way, it sets someone up to feel that grace and compassion and to walk them through to the other side. And or not even us walking them, like standing beside them as they walk through it. I think it's such a beautiful piece. So I love, love, love that.
That really resonates because I've just finished off a breakthrough. It was so amazing and again, transformative. And this was somebody who had been a patient of mine, and she'd always come in because of the anxiety saying, I need you. And she'd need me to reframe things for her. And then her nervous system could settle until the next thing happened in the next week or two. And then she'd be back again. And now, like she said, like that voice, that negative voice that was always telling her she's not good enough and holding her back and keeping her in anxiety state all the time. She said, it's on a cruise. It's gone on a vacation. I just,
Come
I
on.
don't hear it anymore. And she doesn't need me. She has the tools now. She
Mhm.
said, oh, something happened, but I just used my tools. I was able to shift. Yeah, it's
That's
wonderful.
everything. That's
Yes,
everything.
yes. And because of
Oh,
that, she's going to be publishing her book that she wrote years ago. She's written a couple of books, but the
wow.
limiting beliefs and anxiety just held her stuck for so many years. She said it feels like freedom for the first time in her life. Yeah.
Just taking a moment in for that because I feel like when you're in it and you're doing the work and you're like you're going one step at a time and like you feel that transformation with that person, but then hearing you express that, like what else is there? That's everything.
Right.
Like the power in that is everything. So congratulations for you, for her, for everyone.
Right.
Because we believe like we help one person, but you're helping the 10 closest people to them and them. You've been through our Trailblazer program, you're in our Torchbearer program. What does it mean to you to be a torchbearer in the Avalon community? What does it mean for you to be a torchbearer in your work and how you're showing up with it?
Yeah, it's about carrying the message further and carrying the message deeper.
Mhm.
And that's what it feels like to me to be part of Torchbearers for sure. It's really wonderful. Oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful space. And the people who are there, I love them. I love them so much. Just beautiful human beings. And again, it's just wonderful to like go deeper with tools and to have that sounding board and feedback from everything from like business and landing pages to,
Mm.
again, if I have a session and I have questions, what would you do in this situation? My gosh, the support is wonderful.
What would you say if there was someone listening and they were like really interested in the trauma aware lens and bringing that into their coaching space? What's the thing you wish they knew about the why behind becoming trauma aware? Like, why was that important for you to integrate that into your work and that you feel like would be helpful for someone else to hear as well?
Yeah, again, as I said, like a number of the people that I've worked with as a naturopath certainly have told me about pretty significant traumatic past and traumatic moments. Although, of course, we all carry trauma in different forms. So I think it's like a scale and it doesn't always have to equal the worst case scenario. But with the training, the I found it so incredible in terms of providing yet again like a framework to help a person move through that trauma. And I didn't feel, despite having training and counseling, basic counseling as a naturopath, like I didn't feel well equipped in order to help people move through trauma.
Right.
I could create a safe space where they could talk about it, but I couldn't help people move through it. And I know I could see that was what was keeping them stuck. And yet
Mhm.
I didn't have a way of helping them or being able to have the tools again, also so that they didn't slip back into the trauma.
Right.
So instead, moving through it. And
Right.
that's probably been like probably one of the most powerful things that I think a person can do is to be
Mhm.
able to move through a trauma
Mhm.
instead of carrying it with them. Seeing that again with this last breakthrough, like unreal how, yeah, liberating it's been.
Yeah, liberating to be able to know that like you can navigate anything that's coming your way, that you've got the tools on the inside, you have support and you have community, but also I love the description of that voice is on a cruise now. So that, yeah, I've definitely experienced that as well. When you think about your practice, you've been doing it for how many years now?
I've
You
been a
said
naturopath for 20 years.
20. Yeah. And such incredible experience working with people and then finding the integration of both. And what would you say has been something that's been helpful in your work with Avalon and integrating that into the business side of things? Like I'm hearing how this has helped you in community, how it's helping your clients. And you did mention we've got calls where we focus on marketing and business and all those pieces. And I think a lot of us coaches, when we're getting started out, or if we're transitioning from a practitioner or a helping professional and moving into that business side of things, how would you say, or what would you say has been something that's been helpful in that arena of your work in the business lens? Has Avalon been able to give you tools to help navigate that?
Absolutely. And again, on a number of different levels, like with the Avalon training and having that wonderful coaching manual. So you feel supported as you step into something new and like step by step. Okay, visit one, I do this, and here are
Mm,
the scripts, and here is all the information. Although obviously one can bring one's own like lens and flexibility to that as well, too. It really does set you up incredibly well to be able to finish Avalon and go out and confidently sit in front of somebody and be a coach.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really love that. It's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You've got the program, you have the script, you know what you're doing. Each session is laid out for you. And of course, as you grow and continue to, like I say, find your own gems and jewels, you bring those into the work. But yeah, the coaching manual is absolutely exceptional. I do love that. So thank you for reminding me. You had mentioned the money mindset and stuff like that. How do you think that this work tapping into the unconscious mind and diving into that world, have you seen that impact or influence your money mindset in the world of business as well?
Oh, absolutely. I actually came into the program. So I was in transition myself, which is why I've created this program. So moving away from one-on-one practice to doing more group programs online to reach more women and to be able to support women in a different way. And although I've been working on it and I've launched the courses, I still hadn't quite like fully moved into that space. I was
Mhm.
working all the time, all of the time,
Yeah.
daytime, nighttime, weekend time. I'm like so busy. And yet I'd look back and I'm like, what have I done this year? And in a matter of 3 months, I suddenly went from not having clarity, having a program that I'd already retired because I'm like, that wasn't it, to completely finding my niche, being able to change all of my messaging, bringing in people, and launching my program. 3 months. And I
Ah,
at this for 3 years. I was so stuck.
mm,
Yeah, I with the woman that I worked with who had also gone through Avalon and we were trading coaching. Oh my gosh, so using those tools for me. And we
yeah.
talked about it as, or I framed it as like self-sabotage. Again, it was like hidden beliefs in the past that
Mhm.
have kept me undermining my
Mm.
movement forward. And I became completely unstuck and just catapulted forward in a matter of weeks. It's just been unreal.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate it because it's those celebrations, but you can tell though that it's become your like everyday norm because you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, like it was 3 months, the clarity, the messaging, the niching, like just I think that really demonstrates, and I think any coach and or business owner that's listening can really connect into when we look at the self and we go, okay, what's going on here? What am I afraid of? What belief is running this show? What do I know, but I just don't want to know fully yet? And being able to have the framework and the tools to access that with a lot of love and maybe like a love push. It's like being able to have the framework to do that. We know that we can do so much from that place when we really resolve it from the self. And so I really appreciate you sharing that story because yeah, I can relate to that like 1,000,000,000%. Oh my goodness. I love that so much. I really appreciate everything that you have shared. What do you have going on? What are you offering to the community? And where can people find more about you and your incredible work?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. I think probably the best way to get a little flavor for
Mhm.
what I'm doing, and one of the things that I did in that 3 month like little catapult, I created actually a free mini course called Menopause Proof Your Business.
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
gosh.
it is so awesome, I have to say. So
Cool.
you can definitely find it on my website at Mastering Menopause Method / mini course.
And I just think it's again, it's empowering and it's community. And I think you and I can both agree when we're in community, so much potentiality can be accessed in that space. And so I know here at Avalon, community is one of our pillars in why we do what we do. And being able to take moments like this and really celebrate you and the work you're doing, the work you've done, and the torch that you're moving forward with and carrying this work forward. We are so grateful and we are so excited and we are celebrating you. So thank you so much for sharing. And again, if people want to find out more about you, they can find you. We'll put the link down below. But thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Always a pleasure.